Jeff, great to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me, Morgan. It's great to be here.
So what are you seeing so far for this holiday shopping period in terms of consumer behavior and where they're putting their money to work?
Well, we've certainly, Morgan, had a record-breaking year by many measures this year, including specifically, to answer your question, on Black Friday. And obviously that can change, but it's really not changed to date. Compared to last year on Black Friday, transaction volumes for us increased 11% year over year, which is indicative of a broadly healthy consumer. And in fact, we set any number of records for transactions this past Black Friday. I'd also say we exceeded our peak transactions processed per second year over year on Black Friday by about a third. So the consumer remains broadly healthy, I think in line with what you just heard from Frank.
It's interesting. In last year, we saw a pull forward by consumers in terms of shopping for the holiday period, in part because there were concerns that they wouldn't be able to get packages and shipments on time, given all the supply chain issues. We've seen the pull forward in terms of marketing and discounts and promotions from retailers again this year, but not necessarily the same response from consumers. Is the expectation that we're getting back to a pre-pandemic normal in terms of holiday shopping patterns, or is there genuine concern that maybe folks won't buy as much this year because of inflation?
Well, I think you said it exactly right. We're actually back to where we were before the pandemic at the end of the day, which is a terrific place to be. So it's probably the first normalized shopping season, Morgan, in 3 years. I'd say we've seen a couple trends that you're seeing play out in the marketplace today. First, consumers are not making a distinction any longer between the online and the offline worlds. Consumers want to order on their phone. They want to order from their tablets. They want to go to physical stores. One of the trends we've actually seen is a snapback from the pandemic in physical shopping. So we saw 11% up year over year, as I said, across all our platforms, but it's essentially the same number, whether it's a physical environment or a virtual environment. So consumers are no longer making a distinction between the virtual and physical worlds. The second thing it's important to note is that e-commerce as a percentage of retail sales has really snapped back to the trend line, where it's been prior to the pandemic. So I think we all expected in 2020 for e-com to outperform, as I think Frank just alluded to in his segment. It's actually back to the trend line, and consumers no longer really see a distinction between the two modes of purchasing.
On Friday, we were talking about retail, and Terry Lundgren, formerly of Macy's, said there's money to spend, but it's dwindling on the consumer's behalf, dwindling fast. And I wonder how you think that squeeze is going to get reflected after we're done with holiday spend. I mean, what do you think the first half of next year looks like if, in fact, that excess savings is drawing down?
Well, Carl, there certainly are warning signs that abound, but that's been true for quite a number of months in 22. Heading into 23. What I would tell you is we don't see that today. Instead, we see continued robust spending. We set a number of records across our platforms, really globally, but specifically in North America. The U.S. is 70% of our company, but in North America and in continental Europe in particular. We certainly see in some markets, to go back to what you're alluding to, like the United Kingdom, more of flattish growth, but we're not seeing that here in the United States. And while things can change, they would have to change adversely from where they are today to make things worse.